Hello, so today I'm going to be making mixed berry cheesecake. So I have all of my ingredients here. I'll name them off for you. I have vanilla extract, cream cheese, cornstarch, honey. I have a mixed frozen berry, and then I have almond extract, heavy whipping cream, cinnamon, butter, and lemon juice. I also have sugar and brown sugar. They're just in bigger totes, so. But what we're going to start off by doing, and I have clean hands as well, so we're going to crush up these graham crackers. I'd say about 2 cups, I want to say. And then we'll get into melting the butter and adding sugar. But I'll show you that on the next part. Okay, so now that I've gotten my graham crackers crushed, I have my melted butter. What we're going to do is we're going to start making the crust. So we're going to take 2 cups of the crushed up graham cracker crumbs. Okay. So about 2 cups. Hopefully this is enough. I might have to push up more, honestly. It's looking like I'm gonna have to, so what we'll do is we're just gonna pour those in there. Okay, I'm gonna go crush up more. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got about another cup all crushed up. We're gonna add that to the bowl. Make sure, if you can, to crush up any leftovers that are not tiny. Obviously it's not going to be perfect, but if you have a food processor, honestly that would be better, but I don't, so we're just kind of going with what we have. So after we do the graham cracker crumbs, we're going to do sugar, cinnamon, and then melted butter. So we're going to do about, let me see, about 6 tablespoons of sugar. Let me get my tablespoon. There we go. Okay, and my sugar is in a big bucket, so I'm going to, off camera really fast, I'm going to get my sugar put into here, and then I'll show you guys the cinnamon part and the butter part. Okay, so I did add my sugar in there. That was 6 tablespoons. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Oh goodness. Oh goodness, it's gonna play hard to get, I see. Okay. Honestly, that's good because it comes out. After that, there's your mixture. We're gonna do melted butter. So for melted butter, you can kind of eyeball it, but I'm gonna start off with 7 tablespoons. So I'll show you the first tablespoon and then I'll kind of do the rest off camera. Okay, so I have a 2 tablespoon thing. So I did melt my butter. I might need more. We will see. That's 2, 4, 6, and then we're gonna do kind of half. All right, 7. Perfect, okay. So now basically I'm just gonna mix this together really quick off camera. I'm gonna rinse out my my measuring cup, sorry, and then I'll come back to show you guys the next steps. Okay, so I've gotten my mixture all mixed up. This is kind of what it looks like, a little bit chunky, but that's okay. When we press it down, it won't matter. So this is the pan of choice that I'm using. Now, you can do as little or as much as you like, but I'm gonna be like compacting mine real tight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put all of this in there. Make sure you get all of that. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pack this down and then I'll come back for the next steps. Okay, so now that I've got my base, my crust all packed down, we're going to put this in the oven, and it's already preheated to 350 degrees. So we're gonna just throw this in there, bake for 10 minutes, and while that's baking, we'll start our berry sauce. So I'm gonna put this in the oven, I'll be right back. Okay, so I do have some strawberries that I did just cut up. Right now we're gonna be we're making the berry sauce. I say that because it's not really technically a sauce, but it's okay. We have the blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries. And the recipe doesn't call for strawberries, but I decided to put them in there because I like strawberries. So we're gonna put those into a saucepan. We're gonna do about 5 or 6 ounces of each of the mixtures. So I'm gonna I'll just kind of get us out of this one. Oh, this does actually have strawberries in it. I didn't realize. Well, now we got fresh strawberries. Okay, that honestly should be more than enough. I'm gonna kind of clean up my area, wash my hands. I'm gonna put this on the stove, and then I'm going to let that cook until they're nice and juicy and soft. And then we'll come back and make the cream base. Okay, so for this part, we're gonna be making the second half of the berry sauce. So basically in this bowl, we're gonna be doing sugar, brown sugar, cornstarch, and then, and then a little bit of, actually we don't need heavy cream in this, sorry, scratch that. We're only gonna be doing sugar, brown sugar, and cornstarch. So, I'll grab my containers, and for sugar, I'm going to be doing the, a half of a cup. Sorry, my brain is blanking right now. So for sugar, we're gonna do a half of a cup, and then we're gonna do 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar, and then 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch. Like I said, my sugar and my brown sugar are in big tubs, so I'm gonna do that part off of camera. I could probably put the cornstarch in on camera, because I mean that's just in a little thing. A little bit better. Okay, and our timer did just go off for the crust. Oh, okay. Good reminder to do it over the bowl. I've got a little bit of a mess there, that's okay. So, we're gonna shut this timer off. We're gonna pull our crust out. I'm gonna clean up my mess, and then I'll come back to this and we'll finish putting the sugar and the brown sugar in there. Okay, so we have our cornstarch, our brown sugar, and our just regular sugar. We're gonna stir this together, and then once we notice that our berries are at a kind of more runny consistency, we're going to add this in there and then just kind of let it simmer until we notice that it's thickening. So right now I'm just kind of crushing out all of the chunks of brown sugar. Probably should have sifted it, but that's totally okay. We're just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Anyways, so I'm going to finish stirring this, add it to that, and I'll show you guys when it's thickened. Okay, so I did end up, after getting most of the fruits were juicing, I did end up just throwing it in the blender really fast to kind of get a berry puree. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and add this mixture, the cornstarch, brown sugar, and just regular sugar. I'm going to go ahead and mix this in, and then I'm going to just let that simmer until it's thickening. And then while we wait for that, we're going to make the cream base. So can all just go right in there. I'll show you. I'm just gonna want to stir until fully mixed, and then we'll just sit back there and let that simmer. Okay, I'm gonna mix this in, and then I'm gonna get everything ready for my cream base, and then I'll show you guys. Okay, so by the way, I did pull out my crust. It's on the counter chilling right now. We're letting our berry sauce cook. Right now, this is gonna be the actual cream cheese base. So in this bowl, we're gonna be whisking. Well, we're gonna actually make whipped cream. Which I think honestly for that I will leave that part last so that we can just have fresh whipped cream to put on top. But what we are going to do is we're going to add cream cheese, sugar, lemon juice, and salt, and then we're just going to mix that up. But we're going to go ahead and grab our ingredients. So we're going to be doing, for this part, we're going to be doing about 24 ounces of cream cheese. We're going to be doing 3/4 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract, and then a little pinch of salt. So I'm going to go grab the rest of my ingredients, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I put some of the cream cheese in there, and I did, actually, we do not need 24 ounces because I'm not making that big of a cheesecake. But anyways, we're going to soften this really fast, and then we're going to add the other ingredients. Okay, so I got my softened cream cheese in here. I'm just going to go ahead and add my other ingredients, which would be, I did switch up the measurements a little bit, but instead of doing 3/4 sugar, I'm going to do 1/4 sugar. And then 1 teaspoon instead of 1 tablespoon. And then I'm just going to keep except I might do a less amount of the almond extract because I feel like 1/4 is just going to be too much. But I'm going to go ahead and add those ingredients in, and then I'll be back to show you me mixing. Okay, now that I've gotten my mixture in here, I'm just going to mix this until completely mixed, and then we're going to move on to the heavy cream part. The whipped cream part, and then we're going to mix those. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, so I threw my metal bowl into the freezer just to kind of help with the whipped cream. I'm going to be doing 1/2 cup, and I'm basically just going to be beating that until so the recipe does tell you to do it until there's peaks sticking up, but I do it until it's like almost butter, not quite butter, but almost, just because I noticed that it holds up a little bit better when I do that. So we're just going to go ahead and start with that, and then after this we can mix our bases, pour it onto the crust, and then we should be done. We're going to have to let it sit for 8 hours, but that's okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to go and rinse out my measuring cup. I'm going to beat this until, again, it's a little, almost to butter. Not quite butter, but almost. And I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I got my whipped cream mixed up, I'm going to be mixing my, my cream base and my berry base. And then I'm going to be adding this to it. And then I will be pouring it into the crust. But I'll go grab my stuff and I'll mix it really fast. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you get that cream cheese base and the berry base. We're gonna go ahead and add our whipped cream into there, and I'm gonna mix that up. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my berry base all mixed in. Now we're just going to transfer the base to the pie crust. Let's see. Oh yeah. This is gonna be good. You want to make sure you get everything. Make sure you're not wasting any of the goodness. Okay. I'm gonna get this in there fully. I will be right back. Okay, so this is what it looks like after getting it put into my pan. So what I'm gonna do now to kind of make it look pretty is I'm gonna take droplets of the berry sauce, drop them on, and then just take like a stick or a toothpick and just do swirls to where it looks nice and pretty. I'll show you that on the next part when it's done. Okay, and that is after my little design. Didn't come out as even as I wanted it to, but we're just gonna chill this for 8 hours and we're gonna clean up our mess, and that's it. Thank you for watching. Okay, so here's the plating portion of the mixed berry cheesecake. So I do still have all of my ingredients. It looks like a mess right now, but that's okay. I do have my berry sauce in that pan that's going to be put into a Tupperware. I'm going to put all of my dry ingredients away in the cupboard, and any wet ingredients I needed to use, like heavy cream, milk, things like that, are going to go into the fridge, and I'll be back to wipe down and disinfect the area. Okay, and now that we have all of our ingredients put away, we're going to wipe down and disinfect with Clorox wipes. Usually I would use disinfectant spray and either paper towels or a washcloth, but I don't have disinfectant spray, so I'm going to hurry up and wipe down all of the surfaces that I have used, and then we're going to move on to the dishes. I'll be right back for that part. I just want to save time, and I don't want to kind of keep you here watching while I do the boring stuff. Okay, so for this part, we're just going to be hand washing all the dishes. I'm using Dawn dish soap and a sponge. Then I'm going to be laying them out here to air dry. I'm not going to show you that part because the dishes do take a while, but after I get all the dishes done, I'm just going to do a quick sweep of the floor, make sure we've gotten everything cleaned up, and then that's it. That's the rest of our video. Thank you for watching.